Hi, welcome to Talking Trash and Tacos with Jessica and
Sarah. We're about to be famous.
maybe not. We decided to do this podcast on the fly. And, I've always thought about it, but I've never done anything about it. And so Sarah seemed interested. So I was like, all right, let's do this. And she's so cute. She comes in and she's like, got all this information. And she's like, we're going to plan this shit out and we're going to do it right. And I'm like, okay.
And I'm like reading all this stuff about podcasts and how you're supposed to do it properly and why people fail. Freaked myself right out.
Yeah, because we definitely could be an epic fail. Why not? It seems like a lot of my life has been a failure until it wasn't. So it would be new.
And I'm a true believer. You speak it into existence. So I can't wait until you're asking me for autographs.
I do love that. I think that that's something where you speak what you want into the universe. And I feel like it kind of can just bring it on, right? So we'll see.
Didn't work for my sports betting last night, though.
Yeah, Sarah did want to do a podcast on sports betting. She thought she was amazing because she won some money.
I won a couple hundred. And then
she didn't.
Yeah, I did a bet and I completely messed up. I gave this guy where he had to get under 50 rushing yards. And in the same bet, he had to get over 50 rushing yards. So there was no way I was going to win that. Total waste of money. And I just would feel bad guiding people on losing their money. So no more sports betting just yet until I practice a little more.
Well, and then she had this other idea, which I am not as outgoing as I used to be. I probably used to be outgoing. And I feel like now I'm this introvert, strange ranger who never wants to leave her house. So Sarah's like, we should do this whole thing with sports. And we should go to walleye games and talk to these walleye players. And I'm like, who the fuck wants to talk to a walleye player? And no one even cares about the walleyes, right? This is me. And Sarah's over here looking like, what? What are you thinking?
I'm shocked. Why would you not want to meet some hockey players?
And then she's like, and I'm going to get in their locker room and then we're going to ask them questions. And I'm sitting here like, what the fuck? I don't want to go in their locker room and ask them questions.
Well, it's more or less to observe.
I don't want to do that.
We should probably do football. They're a little more muscular than the hockey players.
I don't know. I don't have a problem with the hockey players' bodies or the football players' bodies. I just don't want to see their bodies. I think I'd be embarrassed.
So either way, I'm telling Jessica this idea of us going to a hockey game. I was like, don't worry. We're not going to have some boring sports questions. We're going to ask them if they like fighting people. We're going to ask them if all their teeth are real. And here's Josh. She's like, oh, one day I met this guy. He was a hockey player for UT. And he had the most beautiful teeth. So I looked at him and I said, you must be new because you got all your teeth. And he said, no, some of them are fake.
That's the first thing I look at when I look at people are their teeth. I don't know why, but I feel like if you have bad teeth, you're probably kind of like a not so quality person. Sorry for people who have bad teeth. I apologize. I suck.
And if we have bad teeth, that's one of the first things we fix when we get famous. But luckily, our teeth are still intact. How can I eat tacos without teeth?
That's true. Oh my God, I bet you someone does eat tacos with no teeth. That's disgusting. Do you know how people who don't have teeth, they have weird mouths? Have you seen that?
Sunken mouths.
Yeah. People in trailer parks have that. Is that a thing? Just brush your teeth, everybody. Brush them.
And then you won't lose them.
Keep them strong.
Yes. Whoop, whoop. And don't smoke.
You know what? That is one of my things. So when my husband's friend was over the other night and he was talking and you were here because we were trying to record a podcast and it was epic failure. We'll play that for you someday.
The husband, he walked in on us.
So then my husband's friend, he's sitting here and he asked Sarah for a cigarette. And I hate cigarettes. I don't know what it is. So then he's sitting over here talking with the cigarette hanging out of his mouth for 10 minutes, talking like that. I couldn't even make eye contact with him. I'm like, I can't even fucking look at you with that thing hanging out of your mouth. It immediately yells trashy in my head. If I see a guy smoking, I will not ever look at him. I could never even look at you in a way that makes me feel any sort of something.
Well, good thing I don't smoke.
Well, you do smoke, but I'm not trying to fuck you.
Usually I hide it.
Yeah, I don't know why it grosses me out so much, but it is like a huge, huge, huge thing in my head. Like, I'm fucking strange. My husband even said it to me. He goes, what is your thing with that? I'm like, I don't know. I don't even like people to pretend smoke. His family has a thing with pretend smoking.
You never did it as a kid, pretend smoked.
Well, yeah, because my mom, remember they used to have those gums? They were like gum cigarettes, and you could actually like blow through them. But it was like powdered sugar. My mom used to buy them for my kids all the time. It used to drive me crazy. Yeah, she drove me crazy in general.
I'm going to say the reason I became a smoker was those fake candy cigarettes.
Nuh-uh.
I wonder if I could sue them.
No.
Any attorneys? If you think I got a shot, just reach out.
You have to be lying. So, yeah. On to the next. I think the whole point of this is we just have so many thoughts, and I don't know if my thoughts are like anyone else's thoughts.
Yeah. And we're going to find out. We want our podcast to really make people interact with us.
I was thinking, do any of you have any huge pet peeves, like my whole like teeth and smoking? If it's going on, we're just not talking. So what's your biggest pet peeve? Like, is there something that you see someone do and you're like, oh my God, I just can't?
Don't pee on the toilet seat and not wipe. Well, just don't pee on the toilet seat.
So if the men sit down to pee, that would make more sense, so they couldn't pee on your seat.
There are men that sit down to pee a lot.
There are.
And not just when they're number two-ing. Like, I know I get it. If you're in a number two, you might as well sit and take care of number one. But to just do that. My first kiss was a guy, and then I immediately found out the same day he peed sitting down.
And how old were you when you did this?
7th grade.
7th grade.
We were at Wendy Zimmerman's house. His name was Brian Henninger. He went to Whitmer.
I know the Henninger name. I remember Wendy Zimmerman. I wasn't like the biggest fan of her. I don't know why.
She was in band, and she played the flute. And there was some silly rumors. I don't remember.
Was she obnoxious? Was she like me, bitchy? Was she a slutty girl?
Anybody know where Wendy Zimmerman is? Look, can we get arrested for that?
No.
Oh.
I mean, there's probably like a lot of Wendy Zimmermans out there.
She didn't go to Whitmer anyway.
Stop saying that. Now we'll know. Okay, so on a side note, what was I going to say? I thought, the peeing. The peeing. Okay, you had a brother, though. I didn't have that. I had never really thought it mattered if boys sat down or stood up to pee.
Like you asked me, how do I know peeing was not normal? Did
like
you watch your dad? My dad, I don't think, Dad, you'll have to let me know, but I don't think my dad sits down in peace. Unless he's doing the number two, maybe. I mean, guys, you know the answer to that. But
I don't know about that. So if I met a guy and he sat down to pee, it wouldn't bother me. I wouldn't think you're less of a man.
You can go to any bathroom you want. Peeing, sitting, or standing. Hey, as long as you make it in the hole.
As long as it's not a litter box. I hate it when people talk about that because I cannot even believe that was a conversation to be had. I don't know. I feel like it's so strange it could be true, but I just feel like no one should even entertain that idea. Once you start doing that, like, it opens a whole can of worms of other things that are ridiculous.
Yeah. So they are cats? Is that what it is?
Yeah, like they identify as cats, so they want to pee and poop in a litter box.
Who started that? I wonder. I'll figure it out.
You should Google it and see where that came from. So yeah. So we're thinking this is our thought. So we're going to release the episodes on what day?
Tuesdays. Taco Tuesdays.
Which is so funny. So when I was trying to think of names that I wanted to name this, right, we put it into AI and we're like, tell me what's intriguing, right? And so we threw some things out there. And so talking trash and tacos. And when I think about tacos, I think about tacos that I eat and like. I think about vaginas. I think about a lot of things. So right away, Sarah's like, are we going to try tacos every week? And I'm like, well, we could. I'm not like anti-eating the taco.
It's going to get expensive.
But I'm anti-eating the taco. I don't eat tacos, but I eat tacos.
So the whole down is really we're going to release on Tuesday.
Yeah.
So we're really not going to rate taco places. Maybe once we would if you have a taco you want to shout out.
Yeah.
Whether it's a store or a person.
I love condado tacos. My husband hates them because they're kind of pricey, like specialty tacos. Have you had it?
I'll be honest, I'm still all about Taco Bell.
Well, you
They got the best tacos.
Yeah.
Even though the meat's probably not real.
Well, remember it said it had like sand fillers one time. That was a big controversy.
So I figured it'd help me get a butt.
You should
Get it?
You should ask someone that you know if they have sand in their meat. I don't know.
By the way, did you know that your peanut butter usually has 8 to 10 rodent hairs in it?
I was told that like the FDA or whoever mandates this crap, they allow a certain amount of extra ingredients, if you will. Like, that's a thing. I mean, you can't really guarantee anything in this world, right? I mean, have you ever had nasty things in your food? You cannot eat frozen meals with meat, like Stouffer's.
How do you eat them? They all come with wheat.
Yeah, I don't eat them because they gross me out. Because one time I had a Stouffer's lasagna and it had a beetle in it. You can't really tell because it's all like mushed together.
My friends were on a trip and they were eating the bugs. With their coffee, they get served bug.
Do you ever watch that show Below Deck?
Oh my gosh, I love it.
Okay, you're like a reality freak. This is one that I do watch. And they were, oh my God, there was this blonde chick and she was like so rude to like the other blonde chick. And they had like a blonde captain. So anyway, Aisha had this like blonde little meanie girl, but they all went and the cook bought a bunch of bugs when he was out and like served them to people. And I'm telling you right now, if I ever have the kind of money to rent a yacht for the weekend or be a guest, I do not want any bugs. Like, don't.
If they're chocolate covered,
Do it. No, not even.
grasshoppers.
No, they do. No.
I just feel bad. But then I'm like, okay, so why do I feel so horrible eating a bug, but yet I eat a cow and a pig all the time?
Well, I feel way worse about that shit. But the thing is like, I'm already preconditioned to that, right? Like, my parents raised me eating cows and pigs. So I feel like, all right, I've already done it. I know what it tastes like. But I've never had lamb. I don't eat lamb. I don't eat veal, even though it's just a baby cow.
They're so small. Does that mean that you only eat lamb chop?
Like, a lamb can be an adult lamb.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure there's a difference between an adult lamb and a baby lamb, and I know the difference. Who's smarter than Jessica? Kind of like how veal is like a calf, like a baby cow, and then a cow is a cow, right? Which is beef. It is kind of confusing. So see, it'd be so hard to go to another country. Think of all these words we have for like just one flippin' animal, and we got like all these different cuts of meat that you got to memorize.
When you raised chickens, did you feel bad? Or did you stop eating chicken?
We would have cookouts and I'd be eating the chicken in front of the chicken, and it felt so wrong.
That is rude.
It also felt rude eating their eggs too, but you know, they ate their eggs sometimes. If you left them in there too long, they would peck at them and eat them. It's like cannibalism, cannibal chicken.
Coming up is a hack with your eggs. When you break your eggs to make like a cake and you get eggshell in there, you use the piece of egg that you already have out to get the other egg out. Same with the cigarette, the end of your cigarette. It gets eyelashes out of your eye. So if you ever get something trapped in your eye, use the clean end, not the smoked cigarette. But your filter can get those eyelashes out for you. Works like a dream. So hence why I smoke.
That's disgusting. Don't anyone do that.
Yeah, don't smoke. If you smoke nowadays, it's not as cool as it used to be.
I don't know if it ever was, but I think all of our friends thought it was.
Well, then why does everybody occasional drink smoke? Everybody's always bumming cigarettes off me. Well, I just paid $115 for a carton of cigarettes.
Yeah,
I'm going to quit.
not $115 I want to spend on cigarettes. What the fuck is that? I would rather have $100 worth of gummies and do a quarter of a gummy every day than smoke. But I think it's just, it's all in habit. Like biting my nails is my habit. That's my smoking. That's my nervous habit. It's disgusting and it's dirty.
But you know what? I think you need to have some dirt in your life.
Well, I do say that I don't get as sick as everyone else, and I do overly wash my hands.
That's bad for you. You gotta have germs.
It is, but also, especially because I know that I have my fingers in my mouth all the time. Like, I have to always wash my hands before I make food for other people, before, I'm constantly washing my hands because I don't want you guys to get my germs.
Well, you probably ate most of the germs off before, so you couldn't give them to us because you bit them all off.
So disgusting. So, yeah, that's a thing.
What else can we talk about? I've got something to tell you. A crazy thing. Did you know the Challenger, which was in 1980, Did you guys know that they were going to take Big Bird in the Challenger up to the moon? Is that where they were going?
I don't know, probably.
To influence kids to get more involved in space. However, guess what would have happened if Big Bird would have went to space and all the kids were watching?
Big Bird would have died.
Well, whoever talked him out of it was very smart. They saved his life.
Yeah, Big Bird goes on a big adventure, or Big Bird's Big Adventure, something like this. And so that would have been quite an adventure for all the children.
My kids were Barney watchers. And remember, then they all talked about Barney being a pervert and all kinds of stuff.
Do you know who Blippi is? So my grandson used to love Blippi. So Blippi is similar-esque to like Pee-wee. Okay, so I don't know what the deal is with this, but I feel like they all have to be a little odd. I feel silly doing this, let alone being like...
Did you watch the Nickelodeon reality of what?
Oh, that was like called something different, though. What was it called? I did watch it with like the iCarly girl.
Let's ask AI. I ask AI everything.
And yeah, no, that was kind of fucked up. Not kind of fucked up. It was fucked up. But that's kind of just the same shit that's been going on in Hollywood forever. So.
And I never thought that stuff went on.
Oh my God, I always thought the poor kids. I mean, I don't know. It's just everyone takes advantage of anything they can, right?
Quiet on Set.
Yeah,
Quiet on Set. If you haven't seen it, you will be shocked.
And what's that on? Netflix, is it? Or
that is on Netflix.
Yeah.
Actually, it says streaming on Max, Amazon, and Apple TV right now.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Well, no, I didn't watch it on Apple TV.
The Drake Bell thing really shocked me with him. And now that you look back, they all went through these like moments where they were acting out and being really wild and bad, but who knows?
Yeah, because I mean, this goes back to the era of Corey Haim or Corey Haim?
I don't know.
There's this whole thing like with like the
Corey, the one. There's two Corys. The Corey that was friends with Michael Jackson. I forget his name.
Yeah.
Aim? No, it wasn't Aim. Feldman. Corey Feldman.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, goes back to the other movie. What's that movie where they get the leeches on them? Stand By Me. Okay, anyway, go on.
I don't remember movies or people, obviously, but I do know that everything's been like really corrupt for a long time. So
I wonder if P. Diddy was ever on Nickelodeon.
P. Diddy probably did the kids on Nickelodeon.
Crazy.
Yeah, he's a little messed up.
What do you think about that P. Diddy stuff? Following? If not, you should.
Well, I just feel like it's just like another notch on the belt for like the psychos that are everywhere. I mean, I just feel like anyone who has this plethora of money, the money can buy you anything, it can do anything. It just makes you a little crazy.
What do we not know that the famous people get away with? Like what happens in the world, the secrets we don't hear, like when these things come out about P. Diddy and Nickelodeon, just imagine the other deep dark stuff.
Well, did you hear about the crazy rich Asians that back in the day, they would buy a dinner and it would be a live monkey inside of a table that would open up. They'd lock the monkey in there while the monkey was alive, and they would take like instruments or like chisels and things, and they would crack the head of the monkey while it was alive to eat its brain as like a delicacy. I mean, and this has been going on for like, I mean, I heard this like...
Now that's really sad because monkeys are my favorite thing to visit.
You know, also, my nephew worked at this place where they do testing on animals, and they have beagles and they have monkeys, and then they euthanize them after they do the testing. And this is like somewhere near like Worcester, Ohio.
Even if they're fine from the testing, they don't get to live. They're like, oh, we're done with you.
Yeah. Isn't that screwed up?
I think they should test on humans, not animals. Animals are way better than humans.
I just feel like they've been doing it for so long. But I mean, I get why we have to for research reasons and coming up with breakthrough medications and things that are killing humans. I get it. but I don't always get it. I feel like there has to be more regulations and rules. Did you hear about when all the minks escaped? They were let out and they were like, don't think they're cute and take them in. They have to be killed if you see them. And I was like, oh my God, this is torture.
That's funny because I was just reading bizarre news about monkeys on the loose in South Carolina. 43 monkeys escaped from a research facility,
See?
causing a stir in the local wilderness. They're now considered a wild addition to the state's natural fauna, sparking a hunt to recapture them safely.
Well, that was kind of a confusing thing because it made it sound like they were allowing them to like stay in the wilderness. And, yeah, so that's not really a wild addition. That's like, watch out and we're going to get them.
Another crazy story. Brain dead man wakes up. In Kentucky, a man was declared brain dead, began to show signs of life just as the doctors prepared to harvest his organs. Somebody was saying their prayers, folks.
Yeah, I don't know about all that. I don't know, but
that goes to say that, back a long time ago, they thought babies couldn't feel pain, and they performed several surgeries on infants without any anesthesia.
I mean, just because they can't speak the words to tell you it's painful, and I think their crying would give it away.
I don't know when they figured that out, but I always heard to be born as a baby, it's very painful.
Oh, it would have to.
Like their heads hurt, everything hurts. We think we are poor babies
being squeezed out of some hole that you want to say is tiny, but now it's a big hole.
All this knowledge and your brain shrinks with age. Did you know that? I thought it was you gain more knowledge as you get older.
I feel smarter when I'm on a gummy. I told Ron, like, when I like gummy, I feel like I feel things deeper and I can make better connections. And I feel like I'm extra smart and funny when I'm on them. I'm not on them now, so I am not funny. I do feel like less stressed. Like I don't think about the things that stress me out when I'm on them. So
I think I did all the stressing being a mom of 21 with 3 kids. I think I kid you not. Now that I'm older, things that would freak me out when I was younger are like nothing. I feel like that prepared me for being a middle-aged person a little more because now everybody's like, how are you not stressing out about this? You're just like, oh, we'll figure it out. I'm like,
well, yeah, because I mean, you went through so much trauma of like not knowing if you, I mean, I only know this because I had a kid young too. If you're going to be able to keep the lights on, I may or may not have heat next week. I hate
to babysit so we can work.
Yeah, or who's going to babysit so I can go out to the clubs because, God, I need that to keep me sane.
Yes, you gotta have your time, your me time.
Which was so wrong. But, it worked out for me because my dad lived next door to me for a long time, and that was extremely helpful. Yeah. Thanks, Dad.
Aw, love you, miss you.
Yeah, I do. So, yeah.
He's listening to us. Front row seat.
In heaven? Yeah, that's another thing we can touch base on another day. Like, pretty much both of my parents committed suicide in very different ways. Like, one was abrasive and the other one was, like, passive. Like, one died of over drinking on purpose to die. And after he became an alcoholic. But a nice alcoholic. He was a very good person. And then my mom shot herself in her head, which was like, whoa, wait, what? I can't even imagine that. So, those are all deep. I don't know. So another day, a deep thing for another day. Priests, bunch of freaking weirdos. That's a thing too. Did you watch that thing about the nun? The keepers, my sister's keepers or something like that. It was a good documentary.
I did not, but my mom told me about that one.
It was a good one.
I was raised Catholic. I kind of freak out. I used to have to confess my sins in the box to the priest.
Do you ever wonder how many of the boys that you were in school with that were being raped?
I hope at my church they didn't do that.
I hope not either.
But it is crazy.
But it did happen in Toledo too. I think someone in the diocese just got in trouble. Like he was just sentenced. Like,
I know there's good people in religion, and then there's people that use religion
as an excuse
to take advantage of people and situation.
Yeah, I think everyone's kind of hypocritical to a certain degree. Like, I think we all want to be good people, but it's really hard to be a good person all the time.
And then sometimes you wonder, and hopefully we don't get in trouble for talking religion stuff. This is a touchy subject. But when you go into a church and everybody just looks rich, the whole stage looks rich. They got bling, they're good, they're entertaining, and you love it. But the most important message they have to give is make sure you give your tithes. Make sure you give that percentage. And it works. And really, it doesn't matter. You give your tithes. It's more about you, your relationship with God. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying.
And also, I don't think God's like, oh, you need to give your church money or I'm not going to let you into heaven. I don't think that's a thing.
Right. So I understand tithes. I understand giving the money back to the church. And it's none of our business what they do with the money. But don't you wonder sometimes, like how are they all looking so
Fancy?
One eye up there and... Yeah, but
yeah, I do like all these like religious kind of things. And like I said, I'm not religious. I'm not good at this, but it all feels kind of culty too. Like everyone stands up, they kneel, they do the hand movements. You're all singing. It just all seems very culty, but it makes sense. I mean, I do believe there's something. I just don't know what to do.
Well, a lot of people believe they made this Bible to kind of control too.
I mean, obviously God didn't write the Bible. This is like other people telling stories.
Like, is any part of it not?
I did ask a pastor this once. I think I was a teenager and I was like, that so-and-so parted the seas and then, so what? All of a sudden all the water goes left and right and you're walking through the middle. That makes no sense. And he goes, well, it's not really literal. Maybe think of it more as like figurative. And I was like, wait, what? No, because a lot of people think of it as it like literally happened. And I was like, why is he saying this to me? Like, I feel like it's kind of the opposite of what they're trying to teach you. So I don't know. It's complicated.
So did you know that we only use a small part of the internet? The surface web, sites like Google, YouTube, accounts for only 4% of the total web. The rest is the deep and dark web. Which brings me, oh God, have you ever tried how do you get onto the dark web? Like, can we go on there and look around and in trouble?
We have to download a certain thing to get to the dark web. And the thing is like once you download this, whatever it's called, if you type it into AI, it will tell you how to get on the dark web. I looked this up once and I had this info and now it's like escaped me like everything else in the world. So you have to download this certain browser or this certain thing to get on it. But do we really want on it? Because the dark web has all that shiznits that you don't want to know about, the shit that you can't get out of your head. Like, could you imagine being in the FBI and having to, like, watch child pornography every day?
Do you more than they want to try and catch somebody, too?
Oh, yeah, definitely. But, yeah, I don't want to see the stuff on the dark web.
I did hear once I was watching one of my crime shows and a lady bought... It wasn't MRSA, but it was something like MRSA. And she was trying to kill her roommate. And she got it off the dark web and they caught her.
Oh.
She was like, she had surgery and she was putting the whatever MRSA stuff in her surgical site. She got it off the dark web.
Yes, I did hear that. And that's screwed up. So, I don't know. I just feel like, I know, like, ignorance for me is kind of bliss sometimes. I mean, I don't mind having the information, but I also am not going to obsess or stress about it because there's nothing I can do. There is nothing I can do to change any of this shit. So why am I going to get all heated, hot, and bothered over it? I hate it, and I would love to be able to fix it, but I'm not in the position to do that. Are you?
No, not at all.
So I don't like getting heated about it. And I hate it when people get angry and heated about things that they can't change. Like, it's just like, why are you going to give yourself a heart attack over that?
The Trump thing?
Yeah. But what if Kamala would have won? And then what?
Did you see him at the fight with his buddy Elon?
No.
They were at the fight.
They're such dorks. They are two rich dorks. I mean, they look like idiots. I'm sorry.
Do you think they work more than 40 hours a week.
I mean, they probably think they do. I mean, and they might. I mean, Elon Musk, I don't even know what he has going on.
If you were the richest person in the world, it'd be boring. Like, you would not, like, once you're there, it's like, oh, now what?
Well, that's when
I'm done.
All this weird stuff. He did something weird. I don't even want to bring it up right now, but I know he was trying to teach his kid a lesson on something. And he had said something so obscure. And I was like, oh my God, only super rich people would think this is interesting. And it's just a whole different lifestyle. I mean, a podcast for him, if you were to listen to this, he'd be like, oh my God.
Do we need insurance?
Well, I don't think we need insurance per se, but it probably wouldn't help to have a friend that's an attorney just in case. But I don't think we're at that level. I don't think that's going to happen. I think Elon Musk is going to be like, yeah, I'm not worried about those two girls in Ohio talking about me.
Well, he can give me a gift card for Amazon.
I mean,
Doesn't he own it? Amazon? Or no?
Elon Musk does not own Amazon.
Oh, wait, it's the other guy. Who's the
Elon Musk is Tesla. I think he has like SpaceX. I could be wrong. I'm just saying this off the top of my head. Some kind of like Bezos.
Don't they fight over who's the richest one sometimes? Like they go up and down.
Yeah. And I don't know. I don't keep track of like rich people problems. I don't know. But must be nice. So how do you get on it? You're supposed to be asking AI, how do I get on the dark web?
Should we ask it on your computer?
No, on yours only. You already do weird stuff. It won't even matter.
Install the Tor browser.
Tor.
Yeah, Tor.
That's it. That's what it was.
Enable VPN. See, I've got a VPN. I never understood that either. The dark web is not illegal, but it makes me nervous to even download that.
Well, it does, because one, we're not smart enough to know shit about computers. We're probably going to get malware up the ass. And then before you know it,
you can get hacked on the...
What do you mean? That's where all the hackers go. That's like their playground.
Well, some jurisdictions, it's illegal. All right, we're not going to do that. Somebody go on the dark web and give us all the secrets of what it looks like.
That's true. I wouldn't mind talking to someone who dabbles on the dark web, as long as you're not like a weirdo. Like,
I've never even had a speeding ticket, so I'm not trying to get arrested for
I don't want like
webbing.
Some serial killer in my house. I could get on tour and I watch like, what's that stuff where they kill people in porn? Yeah, snuff films. They literally really kill people in the films. Anyway. So back to your turd, but that's another big thing. I do not like talking about poop and smoking, poop and cigarettes.
All right, first off, I was in like 6th or 7th grade. It was like when the internet first came out. I used to have to fight Lindsay for a time. She was 4, so really.
I'm surprised Lindsay was allowed on the internet. She was like listening to stories. She was like a Little House on the Prairie.
I'd be mad. I'd be like, Mom, it's not fair. I'm fighting for the internet with my 4-year-old sister. I'm trying to talk on AOL chat to this guy from Australia.
Who's 50?
No, he was hot. I don't know. Nowadays, I guess he could have been an old man. So I was looking up this joke that I heard, and it was just a funny, harmless joke about different turds. And I tried to look it up, and somehow I ran across people in poo.
Oh, yes, everywhere. It was a fetish.
I was traumatized. All I was trying to find out was this funny turd joke. And
okay, well, I don't want to talk about that anymore. Yeah, I don't like talking about poop. But
we went from snuff to poop.
When I was at work once, I worked at AP Federal Credit Union, which is now Sky Bank. No, not Sky Bank. I also worked at Sky Bank. That's a long time ago. Sun Federal. Okay, so AP Federal turned into Sun Federal. Anyway, I was trying to look up Dicks.com to buy something for my now husband, and I wasn't trying to buy him Dicks, and that's what it took me to. So by the way, if you go to, it's Dick's Sporting Goods, not Dicks.com, and you're at work on the work internet.
Because I sell that website, though. Like, if anybody knows who owns Dicks might want to buy that and pay good money for
that is very...
Or they may not.
Or maybe Dicks.com is selling a lot of dicks.
Who named it Dicks anyway? Like, I think that name is weird. Dick's Sporting Good? Why can't it be Fred's?
I mean, I definitely would just be like, Richard Sporting Goods.
Let's see who owns Dick's Sporting Goods. If his name's Dick.
Well, Dick is short for Richard.
Yeah, but sometimes a dick isn't.
A dick?
No, sometimes a Dick is named Dick without Richard.
I just feel like no one's going to name their kid Dick. So I feel like no.
Is there any other weird ones?
Yeah, I don't even want to discuss it right now. There are some that don't even make sense. Like William is now Rob.
I get why people use thirds, fourths, and fifths now so they can use their kid's social security card. Do you know how many times people will try and rent an apartment? And I'll be like, you're in collections for Columbia Gas. And they're like, well, I just turned 18. How am I in collection? Whoops. Go check with mom and dad. And it happened. Has that ever happened to you guys? Anybody?
No. But anyway,
Like us?
we do have a Facebook page.
We do. It is.
Talking Trash and Tacos.
Go find us. Or do we have to find you? We might be private. We're still figuring all this out.
But we also have a YouTube page. There's nothing on it except a cute little picture. And it's called Talking Trash and Tacos.
Yes. And tell us what your favorite taco is. Go interact with us.
All right.
So, Tuesdays, we're dropping.
We don't know when they're dropping, but it's going to drop like it's hot. And no one's going to listen. And we're just going to be having a great time.
Wow, I laughed so hard. I almost peed my pants 3 times today.
Oh my gosh, it's been so last week. No, I don't know if you almost peed your pants today. I don't think you were laughing that hard. But last week when we were fucking shit up left and right, I think I literally did dribble in my pants. I thought I was going to die. And maybe someday we'll let you listen to that because it was ridiculous.
So yes, every Tuesday you'll see us, like us, love us, share about us, and don't critique us ever. We only want to hear the good stuff.
Yeah.
And eventually we're going to get ballsy enough to talk crap. So if you don't like to hear the truth, Jessica is very blunt. Now I'm the butt kisser, so I won't be talking trash, but Jessica is really good at it.
There's so many annoying people.
Yes.
And I'm really good at cutting people out of my life. Like if I don't want to deal with them, I just don't want to deal with them.
Well, if you don't hear from me on the show one day,
when we created the Facebook page, I invited people to be friends with us. And I think I only invited maybe 6 people I knew. So anything else that's on there, I'm not really friends with them. They're like my fake friends that are being nice.
Or your fake profile. Your own fake profile can use to stalk people.
Yeah, I do that. That's true.
All right.
All right. Well, have a good night.
Have a taco.
Let's talk about it.
Walk it up.
Saucy.